Okay, here we go. So this is one of those videos that I'm gonna try not to ramble. I'm gonna try to get the point across, but I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to share this, but I feel like I need to share it because it's gonna be good for me, and it may even be good for you if this is something you can relate to in some way. So, not an easy thing to talk about. I have social phobia. I was diagnosed with this about 10 years ago. It showed up a long time ago. When I was a kid, I noticed that whenever I would become the center of attention, if say I was in, a classroom and I got called to the front of the class, or any time where the focus in the room was put on me, I would have a reaction that seemed so much more severe than just being nervous or your average uncomfortableness, because we all have a little social awkwardness. I think everybody can relate to that, but this was much more severe, and it got worse. It got worse as time went on. I would notice that it became very difficult to talk to people. In the store, one-on-one, I'd run into somebody and I'd have just a panic attack, a meltdown, where my whole body would literally shake, and I would feel like someone had just put a gun to my head, like it was a fight or flight feeling over nothing. And I knew something was wrong, and I finally started getting some professional help with it a few years back, and I was diagnosed with social phobia, severe social anxiety, and agoraphobia. And here I am. My whole life is getting in front of people, being a performer, an actor, a singer, and I've got this thing. And the reason for this video is because I've actually made some tremendous progress. Like I said, I am getting some wonderful help, and I have for years. Every once in a while I have sort of a meltdown that puts me 2 steps back, a couple steps forward, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm right back where I was. And I've actually made some tremendous progress in the last few years. It's been amazing. I'm doing things that I never thought I could do, but like I say, it still shows up in my life, and I want to tell you guys about it. Because part of the reason that social phobia and stage fright and social anxiety and all that stuff has held its grip in my life is because I'm so unwilling to admit it, and I'm always trying to hide it from you. I don't want you to know about it. I don't want you to know about it. I don't want to have it. Just being honest, I don't want to have it, and I don't want you to know about it. I don't want you to see it. But the reality is, the more I put myself out there and the more I perform and interact, it's gonna show up now and then. And it did this past weekend. I did a very routine performance, and it was, something that shouldn't have been a big deal. And I had a meltdown in front of a live audience, and to me, it was humiliating. And people that have social phobia, we tend to magnify things in our heads and we make it so much worse than it is. That's really at the core of the whole disease, if you will. We tend to overthink what people think of us. Rather, we're not really so concerned with what people think of us, but we're more concerned with looking bad in front of people or being humiliated or embarrassed. But to the umpth degree, not like a normal person who would say, "Oh, that was embarrassing." We will lose sleep over it. We will agonize over it. We will become a nervous wreck over it. And that happened to me this past weekend. And another reason I'm doing this video is because I have some opportunities coming up in the near future where I could possibly have some really nice exposure with what I'm doing musically. And I mean, by really nice, I mean like live TV in a big way. And I'll tell you all about that later. But because of that, I am now faced with the reality that I could have a meltdown on stage. And the people that I'm working with that are coaching me, we've all agreed that the biggest problem again is that I'm hiding this from people. I'm not willing to just say, hey guys, I'm absolutely terrified. I am having a meltdown. Give me a second. This happens sometimes and let's move on. I need to just do that. But what I do is I try to stay in that professional mode, and I try to be a dude and be like, I don't have any weaknesses. I'm tough and I'm just gonna tough it out and I'm not gonna let them see it. And then the problem becomes more persistent, and the end result is that just complete bomb out. But I want you guys to know about it, because I want to heal this, and I'm tired of living with it. And if I go on live TV or some show in the future and this happens, I'm not gonna hide it anymore. I'm gonna just say, this is what's happening. And I want to tell you guys, I want to show you what this is. For me, social phobia and social anxiety, or stage fright, combination of all of it, whatever you want to call it. For me, here's how it manifests itself. If I am in a situation where I feel I am kind of cornered socially, or in a performance setup, you know, let me rephrase that. If I'm in a situation where I don't feel like I have control, in other words, if I do a concert, many of you who are in my area have seen me do shows where I have done shows in front of 400 or 500 people or more sometimes, and I'm cool as a cucumber because that's what I do, and I love it, and I'm passionate about it, and I want to share music with you. But I'm also in control. It's my stage. I know what's going to happen. I know where I'm going to go, and I know I can, you know, move around or do whatever. But if I'm on somebody else's stage, if I'm being interviewed, or I'm on a TV show or something where there's a structure and I can't really, you know, there's no real variation in that structure, I get spooked, and the fight or flight hits. And how it manifests itself is that my body will tremble and I'm unable to smile. I would do it for you now, but I'm very uncomfortable talking about this, but I'm not having a quote-unquote meltdown. But I'm very uncomfortable on stage when this happens, and my smile will literally tremble, and it is in the feeling, the meaning I've given it is that it's humiliation, and that I'm weak, and all this stuff that isn't true, but that I'm making true in my own head. And this has happened many times. I try to hide it from people. Like I said, I don't want you to see it. I'm not comfortable with you seeing it, but you need to see it. And I actually found a video online. My apologies, because I found this girl online, and she can demonstrate it on camera. I wrote her and asked permission to show the video, but it looks like she hasn't logged into her channel in like a year. So I'm not going to use her name or show her face. I'm just going to show the part of the video where when she's trying to smile, and this is what happens. And this, watch the video. This is exactly, I mean exactly what has happened to me hundreds of times, if not more, over the years. And when this happens in front of a live audience, or in front of somebody, say that somebody maybe that I'm a girl I'm asking out on a date, or just something like that where you don't want it to happen, it feels it's very humbling and humiliating. And what I'm trying to do is change the meaning of this event. And what I'm slowly realizing is that by just exposing it and not trying to hide it from you, that's actually powerful. It's powerful for me, and it might even be powerful for you, because it lets you know you're not alone if you deal with something like this. And for me, it gives me the freedom to just say, ugh, you know, I don't have to keep hiding this, and just, here it is. Let's experience it and let's move on, okay? That's what I want to do with this. So this is what it looks like. Now you kind of have an idea. You might see this in the future in a live setting, and if you do, okay, and we're just going to roll with it. And I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be easy for me. I still have a long ways to go in being okay with you seeing this. But But I'm going to push that from now on. I'm going to let you see it if need be. And I'm just going to tell you, this is happening. Here it is. Let's just all deal with it and move on. And I don't know what your reaction will be, and I probably just, it just doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am inside, and it doesn't change the person that I am. And I'm just gonna be who I am, and I'm gonna continue to share my music and my movies and all the things I do, and I'm not gonna allow this to become a stumbling block anymore in my life. I really never have. I've always kept pushing forward, but I've given this thing some tremendous power by constantly worrying about it and by constantly trying to hide it. And I am so sick of hiding it from you, and I'm not hiding it anymore. This is it. This is what it is. So I thank you for listening to this ramble that probably went on just way longer than it had to, but I hope, you know, maybe you're going through something like this. And if you are, let me know in the comments. And I just want to let you know, you're not alone, because there's this guy on YouTube named Commisso that does music videos and short films, and he's constantly putting himself in the public eye, and he has social phobia and social anxiety, and he's working through it, and he's gonna get through it, and so are you if you just face this bullcrap and just keep pushing forward and push yourself out of your comfort zone until it's comfortable, and be okay. Be okay with people knowing that you have this. The world will not laugh at you. Maybe some people will. That's none of our business. You know, I think most people admire a person for putting their shortcomings out in the public eye, you know? Yeah. So, more music on the way, and that's all I have to say about this today. I thank you for listening once again, and it's going to be an interesting ride. Good God, it's going to be an interesting ride, but I'm up for it, and I hope you are too. So, talk soon, guys. Thank you.